in Gary's Lady L.
Yeah, looking at the back of the book, we knew it was for you.
It's very much for me.
Yeah.
I would recommend this to everyone. It was fantastic. And also, the other reason I would recommend it to everyone is it's really short as well. It's like 130 pages.
Oh.
So you don't have to think, it's kind of... It is that type of setting that I like, that might not be for everyone, but this is not your Vanity Fair length. Like, this is pretty short, very, very accessible, and a really, really good book. So we do find out a little bit initially about Lady L that no one knows. So essentially, she was born very poor, and so the general setting of this, right? I'll give you the sort of the framing device for this thing is she's an old lady now, and all her family are there, and her sons and whatever, and everyone's one of them's an MP, and one of them's high up in something else in the bank or whatever. They're all doing very well for themselves, and they're all rich and whatever. She has some kind of like pavilion out in the garden, right? Like a kind of summer house thing, way out in her spacious grounds. Yeah. A tent, no. And
just a circus tent.
It looks like the council are forcing her to knock it down because they want to build like a motorway through the land or something like that, right? So that's the kind of framing device. But she has secrets in there. And she's now worried. She really doesn't want to do it, and she's fighting, and the family don't really understand why she's fighting so much. There isn't a guy, I think he's called Sir Percy, who just like follows her around like a little lapdog and has loved her for decades, but never, just been rebuffed constantly. And she takes him to it and shows it to him, and he's like really shocked and can't believe this innocent little old lady, has all these secrets. So we see that she grew up poor. Her mum worked in a laundry. Her dad was a kind of communist.
Okay.
But the sort who's all ideals, but then you're also like a crap husband and father and letting your family starve while you go around talking about your communist ideals, like in an impractical way. And they always talk about what's the thing? Is it liberté, fraternité, and égalité?
Yeah.
And 2 policemen keep coming to arrest the father, like constantly. And she started to call the policemen liberté and égalité, and she keeps saying, where's fraternité? I'm drunk in the street somewhere then. And that's like her constant little joke that like fraternité never shows up because he's all somewhere else, but the other 2 policemen are liberty and equality.
That's fine.
So then the mother unfortunately passes away, essentially kind of worked to death in the laundry, while the father never contributes anything. Now she's going to have to provide for the house. The father's just like, well, you'll probably work in the laundry then, won't you? Father's the worst guy because he then also, I'm sorry about this, it's the first book of the month, but then tries to rape her every month. Like, he doesn't succeed, so half point, I don't know, but like almost every month this is happening in one of the books. She unfortunately then, as a teenager, turns to prostitution. She goes out to try to get work, but all the guys who are offering her work basically say they'll only give her a job if she sleeps with them. So she's like, well, I might as well just sleep with people on my own terms and make more money. So she does that. The father is completely useless, doesn't help in any way, is also an alcoholic, and later gets found dead in the river because it turns out he was so principled not that he'd actually become a police informant and sold out all his other communist colleagues and then got killed by them. So just the worst guy on all fronts.
Okay, yeah.
So she is able to go off and be free. What does she do? Not daddy issues or anything. Starts dating a really famous anarchist type guy. I think it's called Armand. Starts dating him, and he's very similar, essentially, but he treats her a bit better, like he's not like an alcoholic and he doesn't,
not a
arrest or
racist.
anything.
Yeah,
but
good.
Still all about
bare minimum.
Yeah, right. Still all ideals, all nothing practical. She just keeps saying all I want is you. I just want you to want me, and so that's it. And he's like, cool. But I owe myself to millions of starving people, and he's obsessed with the cause constantly. But he'll do funny things. He'll be like, rich people get to enjoy this famous pianist. I'm going to kidnap him and make him play in a brothel. Because
sure.
Poor people deserve art.
Fair enough.
So he acts out his ideals, which is nice. Of course, police are always after him, etc., etc. Same as the father, essentially. So I kind of like some of the stuff he does. A guy that she meets, an older gentleman, gives her a lovely jewel necklace, because these are all rich people, and her husband pawns it, and the guy realizes goes back, buys it back from the pawnbroker, and gifts it to her again. After this happens about 4 times, then the guy goes to the husband and is like, right, you can consider it a gift from you and not me if you want, but stop selling her necklace. How much do you need for your conspiracies? And he's like, well, we're trying to blow up the palace or something. And he's like, cool, I will pay for that if you stop selling her necklace.
That's pretty great.
That was very funny. And they get on. They end up doing these big conspiracies. Like they end up trying to like assassinate monarchs and do all sorts of like crazy stuff. Then it's really sad. She knows this is all bad for her, but she's in love with the guy. So with this rich older guy, they make a pact, and he basically says, "Well, we can fix it, but you would have to send him to jail." So she, and I think this is kind of gross, betrays the person she's in love with and has him sent to prison for several years. Goes off and marries the rich guy, who basically says, look, I'm old and I'm going to die, marry me, you'll have a title and a whatever else, a lot of money and land, and you'll be set for life. And she is, and that's, Many years later, her husband, assisted by a housebreaker called Plato,
Oh, very good. Yeah.
come in when there's a big party at her house and basically say, look, we want you to help us rob all the rich people in your house. And they, try to do that. And she helps him because she's still like in love with him as soon as she sees him. But she also gaslights him. She's like, I can't believe you left me for all those years. It's like, you had him arrested. Like, this is on you. And she makes him feel bad for it. So I don't like her there. And they do a nice thing where I think there's a signal when they're breaking into one of the houses that he gives her a rose or something, and then they find the rose on the path, and it's all very romantic, and he gets arrested and everything. And that'll come back later. At the end of this, she's trying to explain, like, all my secrets are in this house, in this pavilion. And what is the biggest secret of all that's in there? Not just stuff from her past life. Because the rich guy that she marries, he helps her raise her dodgy past. But, like I said, poor girl and a prostitute and whatever else. But she says, well, I don't think I should be with this guy, but I also don't want him to be with anyone else. So probably gonna kill him. So she kills him and keeps his skeleton with the rose in a box out in this pavilion. And that's why she won't let anyone knock it down. And that I did not see that coming. Like, that was big and very romantic with the rose and everything.
That
fantastic.
is pretty interesting. I like that one. Yeah.
I liked it a lot, and the more I'm reading, I'm like, this is fantastic. Every page is amazing. This is brilliant.
It reminds me of Claremont last month. Essentially, there was like a guy's body just in a wall, like Cask of Amontillado style, Black Cat style, and basically the guy falls out at one point when it's opened up, and then grabs a guy around the ankle, just a skeleton, and the guy's like, yep, alright, I'm the one who killed him.
Wow.
It's like, oh, that's actually really interesting. Like, your guilt was so bad. I don't know, just something about being hidden, like the body's hidden.
Yeah,
like
there's something ultimately romantic about that, I think. I love it. I'm going to give this one a yeah.